Why is Code Geass R3 Season 3 such a big mess right now? So what's up guys, Foxen here. I actually just got done watching the final Code Geass recap movie. You know, the one that has all those various changes to get ready for the Code Geass R3 sequel. Yep, that means I know all the changes. But not just this film. In the past films, they have steadily been doing various changes just to be able to set up Code Geass Resurrection. But this includes some changes with the ending. So, is Lelouch dead, alive, what happened? First off, the changes. And I'm not going to go into extreme detail, but only touch on the major plot points. So first off, if you haven't been keeping up with any of the recap films, like most people, know that quite a few story elements got cut out. First off, remember that other Code Geass user Mao? He is completely gone from the film. Due to this, or perhaps in preparation for it, they've also changed a lot of events regarding one major character. Recall back to Code Geass Season 1. Shirley was suspicious of Lelouch having some type of interaction with the Black Knights. Eventually this leads Shirley into shooting Violetta, of course to protect Lelouch, and then that branches off into its own storyline, combined with that of Mao. So in the Code Geass recap movies, that never happened. Shirley did not shoot her. Instead, it was that reporter dude. Alright, so that was the biggest change from the first movie, which eventually leads further changes to the current one. Recall a major character dying in Code Geass, specifically Shirley? Yeah, in the movie versions, that never happened. You know how drastic of an impact this was for Lelouch, which is part of the reason he even wanted to destroy and not capture the Code Geass Order. What does this mean for the final recap movie that just came out and the Code Geass sequel? Well, since Shirley is still alive, they had to just insert her and add new scenes for her in this final recap movie. And let me just mention that it is really weird. And to be honest, this might be getting into why she was left alive and what Shirley's role is going to be in the future Code Geass sequel. Alright, so changes for the third movie. There's various tons of things here and there, but Shirley is the biggest one. So first off, she's still in the academy while all of this is happening. Right before Lelouch's second attempt to take over Tokyo, you see Shirley getting this phone call from someone. It's either Lelouch or C2. The main thing here is that whoever's calling is asking for some help. A little bit later in the movie, you actually see her meeting up with C2. Really quick though. Now, getting to the scene where Lelouch is killed by the new Zero, Shirley is actually present there. And as Lelouch is getting stabbed, Shirley in the crowd cannot look at it, she looks away. So obviously something that never happened. But get this, at the end of the movie, when you're getting caught in stops on this future situation, she's getting the bread, she runs outside, in the original story anyway. In the movie version, she eventually runs into Shirley, and then it switches over to her perspective. So pretty much passing the baton, Shirley's the one running into whatever. And right here, Shirley does mention something about wanting Lelouch to see this future. Now, as for C2, if you're at all a Code Geass fan, I'm sure you've already heard about this. The theory about Lelouch being immortal, being the one together with C2 at the end, specifically being the car driver. Okay, so changes here. First off, this time C2 is completely alone. She actually is riding a donkey somewhere. And C2 herself is wearing some type of weird thing like a poncho. Before it cuts out to the end, you see her reading this letter from Shirley and Orange, or Jeremiah, whichever you prefer. Apparently this is due to some type of request that C2 made to them. The movie ultimately ends with C2 saying or asking, "Will you fulfill the promise from that time? Or will I have to wait again?" And really quickly regarding Orange-kun, the biggest change in this movie for him was this. Recall in the scene right before Lelouch dies, he has a thought, "Go, masked man," to the new Zero. Well, in the Japanese recap movie, that line is cut. You just see him looking, no line at all. So yeah, Shirley is gonna be alive in the new film. But why? Right now, everyone seems to think that Shirley's gonna play this huge role in the sequel, but it might be more drastic, which is where the mess comes in. You know that Shirley met secretly with C2 before that war. So, could potentially Shirley have a Geass now? Yup, there's this whole revival theory going around, that Shirley is gonna play a huge part in Lelouch's revival, or resurrection, as the title's called. So yes, the popular idea going around is that C2 gave Shirley a Geass contract. And just thinking about it now, since Shirley already died in the original series, most likely it's just going to be a delayed death. It's going to be like Final Destination, which means Shirley is definitely going to have this huge death scene in the sequel. You could count on it. But anyway, why is this such a big issue? Originally, this Code Geass Resurrection project was announced to be a sequel to the original series. But right now, it's definitely not. The main issue is that it's really going to be this parallel alternative universe type of deal. In other words, and I hate this phrase, but they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. So if potentially this whole Code Geass project fails, hey fans, we still have the original. No, this is just a side story. A what if. You can be sure that they'll backtrack if this thing is a huge success. So let me know what you think about this. Are you happy hearing that this is going to be an alternate universe type of deal? In other words, if you were happy with the Code Geass R2 ending, you'll have that. And if you don't like this new story, well, you could just ignore it. But as we've seen in the past, perhaps with things like Digimon Tri, it's not always that easy. As for some brighter news, both the original director and original writer for Code Geass are returning. And here's some recent comments from them. From the writer, he says, "At the time of the television series, I intended to close the book on Lelouch's story after the final episode. However, in this film, talking about the third recap movie, it's a little different. It wasn't intending to be an ending, but a beginning." As for the director, he mentions that the differences in the story of the films are not a negation of the television series, but rather one possible outcome. In other words, the Code Geass story is being branched into a new possible future. So hey, we're in a new timeline, one where Lelouch is alive. So let me know if you're concerned at all. Did you already think the Code Geass R2 ending was perfect? As for this Code Geass R3 sequel, Code Geass Resurrection, Season 3, I'm just wondering, are they going to start this new project with some type of explanation for the general fans? I mean, Code Geass is popular, or was popular, it's been 10 plus years. But people in general always skip recap films, and you can't blame them. And more so if you're not actually in Japan to even watch them. And yes, I know you might be thinking it, these recap films will eventually get a wide release. However, that's really only gonna add like 10 extra people outside of Japan who's gonna buy them. Right now, just imagine how many people are gonna be super confused when Shirley is alive at the first episode. Anyway, hopefully we get some more information about this project soon. Let me just clarify that they still haven't mentioned whether this new project is gonna be a set of films, some OVAs, Digimon Tri style, or a Season 3 with another 24-25 episodes. However, since they just did a whole mess of recap films, this Code Geass R3 project is very likely going to be a TV anime series. I'm like 95% sure. But anyway, more important, let me hear from you. Do you like where this project is going? Which is this alternate reality for the Code Geass sequel? Did you even want a sequel? Perhaps you already thought Code Geass R2 ended perfectly. And what do you think about Shirley's death being nullified? Do you buy this theory that she's going to have a huge role in Lelouch's resurrection? And then what does that mean for C2 and Cotton? It'll really just make things much more complicated. Anyway, definitely give a huge thumbs up and subscribe. I am a huge Code Geass fan, so I have been covering this Code Geass sequel news from the beginning. Whenever new info drops on this new series, or the actual series drops itself, I will have videos on it. By the way, be sure to check out my recent videos on Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia Season 3, and Darling in the Franxx. And I'll see you guys later.